My name is James. I'm not going to pretend I ended up here by some clean, respectable path. I did things before this. Things I'm not proud of. Things I still don't talk about most days. I'm not going to list them. Just know they weighed on me long before anything in this cemetery did. It was the priest who found me, in the end. I was sick, fever high enough that I don't remember most of it clearly. Just his voice, and someone's hands, making sure I didn't choke on my own breathing. He never asked what I'd done. He just got me through it. And when I was well enough to stand on my own again, he was the one who mentioned the church needed help. Groundskeeping. Nights, mostly, since the day position was already filled. I said yes before he'd even finished explaining what it paid. It wasn't about the money. I owed the church something, even if I couldn't have told you exactly what, and this was the only currency I had left to pay it in. That's how I ended up here. Night 1. Orientation. My first night, there was no digging, no grave to fill, nothing waiting for me at all. Just the old man walking me around the grounds before he handed the shift over, showing me the gate, the shed, the tap by the chapel wall, the staff room with its 2 chairs and a heater that only half worked. He also showed me the logbook, a thin, water-warped notebook kept on the shelf by the lockers, where the day shift wrote down what needed doing in what he called counts. Flower counts, grave numbers, anything unusual. Read it before your shift, write in it before you leave, he said. Some of it matters more than it looks like it should. Some of the older graves only had numbers, no names. He explained that too, without me asking. Weather and time had worn the stone smooth on some of them, decades before either of us was born, and whatever records the church once kept for those plots had been lost long before that. Nobody left alive knew who they belonged to anymore. A number was all that remained to call them by. The 4 rules came last, read off almost like a checklist, framed and hanging crooked in the glass beside the logbook shelf. He told me to memorize them. I said I would. Neither of us really believed I understood why yet. By 9 he was gone, down past the cathedral wall, into the fog off the football ground. By 10 I was doing exactly what he told me. Walking the paths with the torch, checking the gate was still locked, mostly just getting used to how loud my own footsteps sounded on gravel that quiet. That's when I saw her. Not heard. Saw. A shape gathering itself out of nothing near the flower urns by the chapel wall, solidifying slowly, like ink spreading through water, until it was unmistakably a woman standing there who had not been standing there a second before. I didn't think. I didn't reason it through, didn't remember any of the 4 rules, didn't do anything a sensible night caretaker should do. I ran. Straight back to the staff room, locked the door behind me even though I couldn't have told you what good a lock does against something that doesn't need a door, and sat in that half-working heater's glow until the sky outside went from black to gray. I told myself, sitting there, that I wasn't coming back, that whatever I owed the church, it couldn't be worth this, that I'd find some other way to pay it back, one that didn't involve whatever I'd just seen by the urns. When my shift ended and the sky had gone properly gray, I stepped out through the gate and nearly walked straight into the old man arriving for his own. He took one look at me, pale, hollow-eyed, still gripping the torch like a weapon, and didn't ask a single question, just nodded once like he already knew, and let me go home. I told myself on the walk back that I wasn't coming back that evening. I went back anyway. I still don't fully know why. Night 2. Nicole. The old man was waiting at the gate again. I must have looked it because he asked me straight. You saw something. I told him. All of it. He laughed, the kind that made him have to put his bag down. That's not a thing, he said. That's Nicole. Harmless. You probably ran off before she even finished a sentence. He picked his bag back up. You'll get used to her. You'll get used to most of them. Not all of them. That's the part you actually need to be careful about. He didn't explain what he meant. He never did. I found her again around 11, near the same urns, because some part of me had decided if I was going to be scared of my own job, I might as well get it over with. "You came back," she said, delighted, and no compliment yet after that dramatic exit. I apologized. She waved it off with a hand that didn't quite finish the gesture before fading slightly at the wrist. "I'm Nicole. Sit. Don't mind Grave 22. She's dramatic on Tuesdays. Now, tell me everything. Is the radio still playing that song? The one about the heart? No. Something new now? Phones. Are they still those little glass things everyone stares at? Show me. I'm starving for gossip, darling. I've been dead since before your mother's mother, and nobody tells me anything anymore. I know everyone in this cemetery," she added, quieter, almost proud. Who they were, how they went, who still visits, and who's stopped. Somewhere past the chapel wall, faint and put upon, another voice groaned into the dark. She's not the only one worth talking to. Nicole rolled her eyes so hard I swear I heard it. Ignore him. You'll meet him eventually. Unfortunately. Before I left that night, I wrote in the logbook the way I'd been shown. Gate locked, rounds done, grave 22 at 3 flowers, matching what the day shift had written that morning. Night 3. The old man was at the gate as I arrived, same as always. That half minute where his shift ended and mine began, the only real overlap we got most days. He asked how it went the night before. I told him about Nicole talking my ear off. He almost smiled. "Told you," he said, and left it there, heading off into the fog. The night itself was quiet. Grave 22 still had 3 flowers, same as yesterday, matching what he'd written that morning. I did my rounds, said a quick hello to Nicole on my way past the urns. She was in the middle of a one-sided argument with whoever kept groaning from past the chapel wall, and wrote everything down in the logbook before locking up. When I handed back over at 6, I told the old man the count. 3, same as before. He just nodded and made a note of his own, and that was that. Night 4. Rule 3. Grave 22. 3 flowers still when I checked around 10. I almost didn't bother checking again before locking up, but something made me swing back past the urns one more time on my way to the gate. 5. I stood there longer than I needed to, recounting twice before I remembered what the old man actually said. "Don't touch them. Just tell me." I told him at the gate that morning, on my way out, before he'd even had the chance to ask how the night went. 2 extra. Grave 22? He didn't laugh this time. Means someone crossed back who shouldn't have. "Don't ask me which one. Just keep telling me when you see it. Is that dangerous?" "Not by itself." He shouldered his bag. "But it means the wall's thin that week. Other things notice when it's thin." He left it there and disappeared into the fog. I didn't sleep well that day. Night 5. Grave 22 was back down to 3. Whatever had crossed back, it seemed like it had already gone again. I wrote that down too and didn't mention it the next evening. The old man only ever asked about increases, never decreases, so I let it be. Night 6. Rule 1. The logbook said the day caretaker had gone home sick and no one else could come in on short notice. Grave 88 needed digging before morning. A burial for a family coming in from Malki. So for the first time, digging fell to me. I finished around 1, tamped the loose earth down the way I'd been shown, and went to do my rounds. Came back near 2:30 to check on it before locking up. The soil beside it, not the grave I dug, the one beside it, had been disturbed. Pushed up and outward like something had clawed at it from underneath or dug into it from above. I saw the hand before I understood what I was looking at. Grey, half uncovered, fingers curled the way they curl when nobody's arranging them anymore. I was sick right there in the grass. Then I did the only thing I could think to do. Covered it back over myself, best I could without touching more than I had to. weighted the fill down with stones the way the shed instructions said, and stood guard over both graves until the old man arrived at 6. He didn't laugh this time either. He looked almost sorry and went straight to work, resealing it properly himself before anyone else arrived that morning. The family from Malki never saw a thing, and by the time the funeral car pulled in, both graves looked like nothing had happened. "That's why Rule 1 exists," he said while he worked. "Loose earth, uncovered ground. It draws something. We call it the hound. I've never seen it clearly enough to say what it actually looks like. It doesn't care whose grave it is. It goes toward whatever ground's easiest to get into. Cover it properly, weight it down, and it moves on. Leave it open, and it doesn't." I asked him what would have happened if I hadn't come back to check. He didn't answer that one. He just told me to go home and to come back at 6. I did. I always did. I still don't fully know why. Night 9. Rule 2. I heard my name from the north wall on the 9th night. Not a stranger's voice. My mother's. Clear as if she was standing on the other side of it, calling me in for dinner the way she used to when I was young enough to still be playing outside past dark. I almost answered. My mouth was already open. I remembered the rule half a second before the sound came out. Don't answer, not once, doesn't matter how many times. And I bit it down instead. Torch pointed at the wall, hands shaking. It called again. Same voice, same warmth. I didn't answer. I walked back to the staff room instead, faster than I meant to, and sat with the heater on until my hands stopped shaking. I asked the old man about it the next evening. He went quiet longer than usual. "Nothing's buried near that wall," he said eventually. "Nothing's supposed to be past it at all. Whatever answers back if you answer it, it isn't your mother. It's just good at knowing what'll make you forget the rule." I asked if he'd ever heard it himself. He didn't answer that one. Just picked up his bag. "Some things you don't ask twice," he said. "Lock up when you're done." After night 9, I walked home that morning the long way, past the football ground, past the shuttered tea stalls not yet open, and I thought about my mother's voice coming through that wall. It wasn't her. I knew that. But for the half second before I remembered the rule, some part of me hadn't cared whether it was real. Some part of me had just wanted to answer. I used to think coming here every evening was about paying something back, some debt I owed the church for pulling me out of that fever, for not asking questions I couldn't have answered anyway. I still believe that. But walking home that morning, I understood it a little differently for the first time. Every grave here belongs to someone who left something unfinished. A flower nobody remembers leaving, a name worn off a stone, a voice still calling from a wall where nothing is supposed to be buried at all. I didn't come here to fix any of that. I couldn't. But for 9 nights now, I'd shown up anyway, done the count, locked the gate, gone home. Small things. The kind of small, unglamorous faithfulness I hadn't managed anywhere else in my life. Maybe that was the point. Maybe the church hadn't given me this job as a punishment at all. Maybe it was the first thing anyone had trusted me to actually finish. I still hadn't asked about Rule 4. I told myself there'd be time.